Hello there, great person, and welcome back to my reading of The Wheel of Time. Today we're gonna read chapter 2 and 3, so if you want to read along, be my guest. It's gonna be a fun ride, I think. I already did chapter 1 and the prologue. You can find them here in the playlist. And yeah, if you're wondering why I did not release that many videos this week, I got addicted to Back for Blood. I just played a ton, and Deep Rock Galactic as well with my friends and wife. We just played played this week. I don't know. It was just I don't know. I think we are probably not gonna do that again that much. So I will release again the videos on a normal schedule. But yeah, this was like I needed to be a dwarf mining stuff on a planet, and I just needed to shoot some zombies. So whatever. Now let's get into this, and yeah, I'm curious where we go. So last time we were, I think Rand was entering the what's it called, the inn, and they were loading some barrels for the Beltine or Beltine. I think it's called Beltine. So for the Beltine, and let's just see where it goes. So as always, I will just cut together my reactions to some concrete scenes and sentences, and then after that I will recollect the chapter, and after that, after everything is done today, and I think 4 hours for me now, I will talk to my friends about it, and we will discuss it, and I will add some more stuff. So let's just get into it and let's just read. Oh yeah, and by the way, my background, I would like to show you, I don't know, bookshelf or so, but my room is very small and would look stupid, so I will just use this background. I hope it's okay for you. So I unfortunately, I know many other YouTubers have these great backgrounds like these, and I have got many shelves of books and so too, but yeah, I can't fit my things into it, so my camera and the lighting and so on, I can't really set it up properly, so I'm sorry for that. But yeah, let's just get reading. Chapter 2. Strangers. Who might the strangers be? Is it gonna be Len and Moiraine? I don't know, but let's just look it up here. So the innkeeper has a a cat called Scratch. I wonder whether it got that name after it scratched Matt. After Matt tried to throw a badger into the inn. Just joking. But yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, the fireplace. They're talking about the big fireplace they have here. So I think they have, I don't know what they said in the last chapter, several chimneys on the inn. So it's quite a wealthy inn. And my friends and me, we tried to calculate how many guest rooms they had. So they probably have like 6 or 7 rooms for guests, each with their own fireplace. That is quite a lot. So it seems to be quite a cozy and quite a, yeah, how do you say, wealthy inn. So it's like a 5-star inn. Very great. And here I think it's from Rand's perspective, and he's describing the council sitting in front of the fireplace, and he's thinking about villages around them. And he says here, or even Terran Ferry, though who knew what Terran Ferry folk thought about anything. To me, that means that, even though Terran Ferry is a known village, they don't really know anything about those people. So they're probably villagers as well, and that's all they know. And that's, it's just a village. Yeah, let me actually, we have a map here. So where are they? Where are they? Ah, here it is, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I was first looking at the big map of the world, and I'd only found 2 rivers on it. So they have another map here, and it's gonna be mirrored. I'm sorry, but it's this map, from around there. So it's like this. It's not that far away. So it's not that far away a place, but they still don't know anything about them, which cements again that they're just so secluded. It's so great. You have to. not that bad to be secluded if if everything works, and sometimes strangers come in and out and tell new stuff, and you learn about the world a bit, and perhaps one or two people go away, and one or two people come in, and for I don't know 2 decades they are shunned, but then their daughters and sons, and when they grow up, they are gonna be yeah, they are gonna be the real village people as well, and I don't mean the band, and it's so great. I like the idea of this village a lot. Now we are. I'm sorry, I finished page 1. I talk too much again, I think. Okay, so on the council is the innkeeper. This old dude we had last chapter, I think he's called Sam. Then Harold Luhan, it's the blacksmith, so it's not Perrin here. Perhaps Perrin is, working at his place. And the miller. So it's probably the people that make the most money, but I might be mistaken. How do you think there is someone that makes more money than them? Because the innkeeper makes money through the inn and the beverages he offers there, and the cider from a Tam, and their own ale, which was said in the previous page. And the miller, I mean, he's the one who turns the crops into corn. Is it called corn, or the stuff you use in cakes? This if the little I don't know, you know what I mean. So what a miller does produce the, oh god, what, I don't know the name. I'm sorry, it's the language. Whatever. So they seem to be quite essential people in the village. So it makes sense that they are the village council. So it's like the village council is made of useful people in the village, and and perhaps even wealthy people, but not just because they're like, I don't know, they bought themselves into the council, but they can't do anything. So they are really, they seem to be at least in addition to offer quite some good services to the village. So I like that they are the village elders, so to speak, here. It's old Luhan, Matt said, peering past Rand's shoulder into the common room. I think you suspect I was the one who threw a badger into a room. No, he probably had not done that yet, but what did you do again, Matt? Jesus, Matt, what are you doing? Interesting. So the mistress of the inn is coming here. I don't know her first name, but Mistress Alvir. So she seems to be very archetypal mother figure. This good mother that is like the mother of the village. So it's like she takes care, feeds people, and is kind, and yeah, so she cares for every young man in the area, but not in a way that she wants to gain something from it directly, like the others wanted when they fed them. So she seems to be more pure, which I like. It's Gwen's mother, I think, isn't it? Oh yeah, and she was the best cook as well. So yeah, this archetypal caring mother figure. I like that. Hope she makes it. Okay, so they import wine, but they make their own ale in the inn. So they import wine like from a Thames place or other cities, though I don't think, yeah, perhaps some wandering merchants sell them to them. And I mean, if he seems to be quite competent, so he will know when the wine is bad or good, and he will probably pay the right price. So that's interesting. I like that. So it's a bit like they have their own ale there, so which they do themselves, and they also pick from other places that are good, probably because I think the way I understood the innkeeper here is like he wouldn't sell stupid stuff to his people because he's the mayor. He's a good mayor in a way that he cares for his village, so he probably only buy the good wine, and I really like that. So it's like he takes his own stuff and gives it like in his inn, but he also takes good selection of other stuff. So it's like yeah. So they are not opposed to things from another place. They value them as well. I like that. Yeah, Matt is telling told tales about ghost dogs that breathe fire. like hellhounds. I wonder whether we will see stuff like that. I mean, it was not in the show, so, but yeah. Oh, Matt. What the frick did you do to those dogs? Yeah, he covered them with flour, flour. I think that's the word I was looking for with the Miller as well. Yeah, it has to be flour. The word I was missing. I'm sorry, we'll quickly look it up. Yeah, yeah, flour. That's the word I was looking for. So he's milling the crops to flour. Yeah. Mad. Why though? Why would he do that? Why would he paint poor dogs? He seems to use animals a lot in his pranks. It's interesting. I wonder how Perrin feels about that. I hope Perrin will talk about that because he has this beastly aspect to him. I hope Perrin will talk to Matt about something like this, and we will get more about Perrin's relationship to animals here. I hope that's if he shows up, when he shows up, you know. Oh, this guy Matt tried to prank comes in stumbling, and Matt was just asking for the Gleeman, which is Tom, whatever he's pronounced. And yeah, he says here, I haven't seen any ghost hounds, but I heard somebody flowered or floored, I don't know how it's pronounced, Master Lewin's dogs. And I hear Mistress Lewin has ideas who to look for too. Yeah, Matt, you should not go there for a while. He's so mischievous. I love that. So it's like, and it's so much a show don't tell you. So you I mean, it's a bit tell, you know, but it's not like they tell you he's mischievous, but they show you all the time that he's mischievous and he did stuff and talks about mischievous stuff. I love that. And now there are strangers. Probably Moiraine and Len. Okay. So Eowyn is 14, so they are 16, 17, probably. Because it says here the years separating Rand and Matt from Eowyn were usually more than enough for them to give short shrift to anything he had to say. So I mean, reasonably, when is that? I mean, if you're 16 and some 14-year-old tells you stuff you don't care, I'm not sure. I can't estimate their age from this, but it's interesting. So they are above 14 at least. Probably 16, 17, perhaps even 18. Which makes Matt look quite childish on the surface. I'm a bit confused here. So they talk about strangers in the village, and then everyone just goes to, yeah, his cloak, his why, when did he just, you know, single in on Lan? I mean, because I think it's Lan, because his cloak is weird, it's green and it changes. That's also interesting. Why does his cloak change? She seems to fade into wherever she's standing. Perhaps a bit magic cloak, yeah, like not like the invisible cloak from Harry Potter, but you know, it's a bit adapting. It's interesting that the clothes are magical on the magical people, because the Shades' clothes were, you know, not moving by the wind, even though that might have still, and I still think that was just a premonition. But here again, Lan's cloak is apparently also strange and magical. I like that touch, because it fits as well with the metaphor of the pattern and the weaving. You know, that clothes are somehow special. I have not thought about that yet, but I like that. Yeah, hers is blue like the sky and 10 times fancier than any feast day clothes I ever saw. She's 10 times prettier than anybody I ever saw, too. She's a highborn lady, like in the stories. She must be. The Moiraine seems to be quite a bit angelic, even. I wouldn't go that far as to say she's portrayed as angelic here from Eowyn, but very, you know, noble, high house, or high, I don't know, high title, whatever it's called, and yeah. Her. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, as well. Matt wanted to tell Rand as well about those two, and he did in the last chapter. He said two strangers, and now then he got sidetracked by the shade thing. and the horses as well. Like it's this. I never saw horses so tall or so sleek. They look like they could run forever. So trained horses, like also a bit magical, but not really. It would be reaching to say that is a magical description, but it's like a very unusual people and strangers, but not strangers that are run down or like shaggy or whatever. It's like these noble people with a noble horse, and they are somehow quite serene a bit. Perhaps serene is a good word for that. Oh, and here as well, this is also just a little detail, but also interesting. They look like they could run forever, the horses. I think he works for her, and then Eowyn corrects him. He says, in service. That's what they say in the stories. So they only know noble people and other, highborn people, let's say like that, whatever, from stories. So they've never seen them because they don't go there to that village. It's so interesting. So it's this, I like how the author portrays the secludedness of the village so greatly. Yeah, and Eowyn is falling for Moiraine because, like, a highborn lady, yeah. And Lan is one with his sword. He wears his sword like they are to him, to Eowyn. It's like they are the embodiment of a fighter and a highborn lady. It's like when you tell a story, you have these archetypes, and these two seem to be these archetypes personified for Eowyn. Like you imagine stuff like when you hear a fairy tale about, let's say, what fairy? I don't know, Sleeping Beauty, and you think of the Sleeping Beauty, and she's beautiful like this. You have this image in your head, and you have this image of the prince, perhaps Prince Charming. Is it Prince Charming? And you have this image in your head. If you don't, I mean, if you know the Disney version or whatever, but if you just listen to that, I mean, when I was a child, I listened to stories like that because they are from the Brothers Grimm, and here in Germany, obviously, we get told those stories all the time when we were very little. So you make up these images of those people and creatures, and yeah, in your head, and then you see people like that in the real world, and you think they are from the stories. They are, and you might exaggerate, but that's very nice. I like that. That's a very nice detail because it means that the stories you hear about that they might be your idols. Like, I mean, I imagine these times, if you hear about this great hero with a sword, that he's your idol, and the fair lady is the one you want to date, and whatever in the future, and you imagine them, and you want to meet people that come close to them, and you suddenly see them. Yeah, you can get really smitten by that, I imagine. Oh, and even the merchants that visit the village are apparently, coming every so often, so they know them as well. This as well, Matt joins in here. It's like this as well, and the description from Eowyn, he supports it by saying, strangers like you never even dreamed of. That's like, again, this dreamlike thing come true. I like that. So Moraine's and Lan's appearance and visit to the villages like this, the stories come to life, and the stories are starting to get real that they heard. Oh, and Nynaeve dislikes her, Moraine. Yeah, I mean, we know that from the show, but I really want to know why exactly. I hope they will tell me here down the line why Nynaeve doesn't like Moraine. I hope it's not just this story with the other wisdom that got, you know, um, not admitted to the sisters, the Aes Sedai. Well, I like this reason more. It's not like this convoluted story. At least it might still come, but she asked the wisdom for directions this morning, Eowyn said, and called her child. So he just, oh god, Nynaeve was just offended. That's so funny. Yeah, okay, so she mistook her because she probably didn't know she was a wisdom this young, because it seems unusual, and then they just got off on the wrong foot here. I don't know if there is background with Nynaeve still. We might still get that, but as it is presented from this perspective, it's just like Moraine just walked in, accidentally offended Nynaeve greatly, and then she was like, "Yeah, tell me a bit about your herbs and stuff, so we are friends again." And Nynaeve still hates her. Okay, I like that. Yeah, so Nynaeve has got a temper. And it's interesting, Nynaeve is portrayed as quite a very flawed character here all the time from the people in the village, mind you. So it's not like absolute. But it's interesting that they all see her like this tempered, bratty child still a bit that, is wrong with her and can't do her job. That's how they see her. Interesting. In the show, it was not like that. At least all the women respected her greatly when they had this ceremony, so. And then Matt is teasing him. Yeah, there's a Gleeman. Oh, a Gleeman? Really? Yeah, but I'm gonna ignore you now. I'm gonna go by. This isn't, and Owen says to Matt when they are leaving. This isn't like the ghost hunts, is it? Or the frogs? What happened? It's like everything they tell me about Matt is like, what did you do, mate? Uh, oh, here Matt is seems a bit more grown up and also a bit hurt that people don't believe him, even though it's understandable by what I know of him here. And she says, for the last time, I'm not playing the trick on you. There is a Gleeman. Like, he's really, really angry here. That's interesting. So he can't really... It's hard for him to see when his jokes go too far. Because he wants to be taken seriously sometimes, at least. And here he wants to be taken seriously. So this is interesting. As many things are. So there's a strange raven. A filthy carrion eater. I wonder what that means. Is that like a messenger of the Dark One, or is it like a stupid raven looking at them? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know, but I will find out probably. Okay, so the raven is quite weird. They started throwing rocks at him, or it, or her, whatever, and it just stepped aside and said, "Yeah, F you." I really wonder what that raven is. Vile bird to be mistrusted in the best of times. So it's like a messenger, like a so probably a dark one, one's associate or associated with it, or it's yeah. I think this is Moiraine probably. Yeah, it's Moiraine. Wow, this is actually very cool. So I already knew a bit that Moraine's age was a bit of a mystery, but I will read these lines because I really like them. I hope you don't mind. At least he could not put any age to her at all. At first he thought she was as young as Nynaeve. But the longer he looked, the more he thought she was older than that. And then I thought, when I read this just now, I thought, okay, so she is young, but like it's just, superficial and she really is older. But there was a maturity about her large, dark eyes, a hint of knowing that no one could have gotten young. So she looks like Nynaeve in age. So it's not like she probably looks like 20. I didn't think that. So she seems to be 20, but her eyes are not. And this reminds me a lot of a Doctor Who, about Day of the Doctor. If you know Doctor Who, I don't know. So it's about, if you know about Doctor Who, I don't have to tell you this, but I will just talk about it. If you don't know, you should watch it. It's great. About start at season 1. So it's like this character that's very, very old, but it has he or it or she, whatever, has young buddies. And the only time people can tell that he's really or she's really old is when they look at the eyes. And there's this passage in Day of the Doctor. So there is a doctor that is very old, like in appearance is played by John Hurt, who, God rest his soul, what a great actor. But he's a younger version of the Doctor, and the older one is is played by Matt Smith, and he's like 20, I think 30 at that time. Also great actor. And there is this question asked, how do you know I'm younger than that one? So the old doctor, the old-looking doctor says to someone about the young-looking doctor, how do you know that I'm younger than that guy? I mean, he looks way younger than me. And it's the person says, it's the eyes. your eyes look a lot younger. So like this idea that the eyes tell your age because they look experienced, because they have seen things, like literally they have seen things, they've seen so many things, so they're a lot more experienced, and it's like a calm from your eyes. So that is the thing that they use here as well to talk about Moraine's experience and age and how she comes off. I love that so much right now. That's why I did this tangent, so I can talk more about it, because I love that idea. That the eyes that you have seen and observed so much, and you have so you it's like your knowledge has grown so much by observations, because that's two of the things you can learn through your eyes, your ears, and yeah, I mean there are other things, but like sports you learn through your body, but like knowledge you really learn through seeing and listening. So the eyes are old, they've seen a lot, they've known a lot, they've seen many mistakes, seen many things done right and wrong, and from that, Moiraine is an old experienced woman, even though she looks 20 apparently, which I like. I would have liked her to be younger than, I mean, Rosamund Pike does a great job, though I think Moiraine should have been younger in the show then. That is my current train of thought. But I might change that, that stance while reading here. But I think with this description, someone that is 25 or 26 portraying Moiraine would have been better. But yeah, you have to get a great actress for that. Like that is young. But Rosamund Pike looks young as well. She looks very young. I think she's over 40. Oh God, I hope I'm not mean. I don't know how old she is. Just but yeah. So that was these two lines I talked about half an hour. At least it felt like that. I'm sorry if I bored you, but yeah, I love this. This is great. What? She was barely tall enough to come up to his chest. So she's small as well? That is... I did not think that. So she's like this height? So perhaps Rand is very tall. I didn't thought... Yeah, they could have done that as well in the show. Like this... I think they could have used her appearance more. But, I mean, you have to cast actors that can act as well. So Rosamund Pike can act her ass off. She's great. So don't know if it was the casting, they didn't find someone who was younger and smaller perhaps that could do this stuff Rosamund Pike can do, which is probably hard. Yeah, it's hard to find someone like that, but I would have liked that visually, like a young, beautiful, small woman having that much power and presence. I would have liked that. That they could have used that more then. I like this idea. So it's like you underestimate her so much if you don't pay attention to her, like her manners and eyes. You say, yeah, this is just this little beauty that knows nothing, and then she wipes the floor with you by, I don't know, drowning you or whatever, or lighting you on fire. I don't know. It's like, damn, I would have liked it in the show now. Though Rosamund Pike does a great job. She does. Acting wise, she does a great job. Just what I'm getting at here. Interesting, shows she wears this blue crystal on her forehead, probably as a sign that she's a blue Ajah. They also did not do that in the show. She and the gold necklace as well makes her look very rich, like this pristine person as well. So in the show, she was just a random woman on a horse, but this makes me... And the cloak, I don't know. I have to rewatch the first episode. I don't really remember how she was portrayed, but this is a lot different. A lot different. I like this more because it contrasts so much with the village. In the show, it was just like, two travelers. Like just random people. They just went in, and then it came out that they were quite strong and whatever. And if this would have been portrayed better... Like, she went into this inn and she looks like a noble woman with this crystal and gold necklace and, I don't know, beautiful cloak with these leaf patterns very prominently on her, like this intricate pattern woven onto her clothes. Again, the weaving. But yeah, I will continue now because I could talk about this too long, so I will stop now. Yeah, and it goes on, belt of woven gold. What? Yeah, and the Ouroboros ring. An even older symbol for eternity than the Wheel of Time. So the Ouroboros probably survived from our age. And yeah, she has this almost siren-like aura, which also is a bit strange, and it also shows very little that she's magical, as an Aes Sedai is. Because it's like she has this siren, but a positive siren, perhaps. I mean, I know she's a positive siren here, but if you read this for the first time, you don't know who this is. This would ring all the alarm bells. I think this paragraph here, where Randall's lured in by her, it's like a Vila from Harry Potter. Perhaps, yeah, it's like that. It's a Vila from Harry Potter, and she's not a lady. She doesn't want to be called a lady because she's not anymore, apparently. And he invites her for apple cakes because of her siren, like her Vila like appearance. Ewen, what? I shall have to see, because I perhaps don't like honey cakes. Yeah. And again, her eyes twinkled with amusement. It's her eyes, her expressive eyes. Nice. Oh, and now she wants some assistance and she pays them with the coin. Yeah. Yeah, so they are her errand boys now because they are lured in by her appearance and mystical aura. Okay. There is a bond between us now. That it sounds so fishy. If I would not have known that Moiraine was a very good person, as far as I can tell, would have been so fishy. Merchants guards sometimes say this is the back end of forever. Oh, great. Oh yeah, so she's collecting stories. I like her. This would have been probably the point where I would have liked her because I like stories so much. So she's a collector of stories, as Moiraine says. Yeah. This reminds me of Doctor Who as well, even though it's not meant that way. Men wear many names, many faces, different faces, but always the same man. Yet no one knows the great pattern the wheel weaves, or even the pattern of an age. You can only watch and study and hope. Yeah. So she's a scholar. I mean, she presents herself as a scholar, and she probably is. She's probably quite a knowledgeable person. Again, adding to this aspect of her being quite wise and old and ancient. Oh, later we will talk. So she will talk to them. That's nice of her. I would not have expected her to talk to some random kids. But again, she looks for the dragon probably as well here. Oh, and Len's description is described as a wolf. Interesting. Also, Rand's description fits so well with the show portrayal. This fits. Rand is actually, I would probably imagine not Rand, I'm sorry, Lan, as he is described here, the way he is portrayed in the show. That's very nice. Yeah, Lan is a lot taller than Moiraine as well, so he has to bend down to talk to her. That's what a detail that they did not put in the show. It's like they could have done that. I don't know. By now you should know that I am one of the guys that if they read the book, they want them adapted almost one to one, which is why I like Dune so much, the movie. But yeah. And again, the eyes are described here like cold, gazing eyes that are judging them, like a bit like a contrast to Moiraine. Waters are just in stories, yeah. I never realized, and it's so stupid of me, they are talking about waters and the stories about them and their gold and whatever, and Trollocs, so they are a troll and an orc, like a crossing between those two. So they are filthier than the filthiest creatures, if we are a bit orcistish. Orcist. Orcism is bad. The orcs did nothing wrong, no. You know what I mean? It's like troll and orc, and they together munch into these things. They say the inn's been here for 1,000 years, maybe some more. Probably not, but yeah. And they are keeping the coins because it marks their promise. Perhaps they can perhaps it's like a little spell or a little weave inside that they have that she placed, so they will really do the chores, and when they're done, they can spend it. That might be. I'm curious, or it's something different. Perhaps it will come out later. I'm pretty sure it will come up later, but let's see. Yeah, it was gonna be the best built time ever. So that was chapter 2. Okay, thoughts on it? So there were 2 main events here. First event was the meeting of the council and the description of the council, which gave us more insights into the village, the structures. We got a bit more second-hand information on Nynaeve, which painted her again in a bad light, even though she's probably not, as far as I know. It will probably be quite a nice reveal when we actually meet her and she's different. That would be great. And then Moiraine came. And that part, I really loved that part. The introduction of Moiraine was very, very well done. Like, she's this fairy tale figure come to life, and she's like this siren as well, so it's not like it's like she is painted by them as a perfect woman, like you had perfect woman, but between the lines you can read that there's something strange with her alluring appearance and her, you know? That's good. So it's like it introduces you a bit more to this concept that this is all like people telling you from their perspective what is happening, and it's like it shows you that they might say, yeah, she was perfect, but then again there was some weird stuff there, like her alluring appearance, this strange coin that they can't spend because it has a spell on it, whatever. It reminds me as well as the gold coin they have to give to the what is it called, the fair man, the fairy guy that oh god, what was his name in the Greek mythology? The one with the boat that brings you across Tartaros. Oh god, I'm sorry, I should know this, but you know this guy you have to give a coin, and then he gives you passage to the next station in Tartarus. Golden coin. Is it real gold? Probably is. I'm so curious what will be with the coin. I will not speculate, but I'm sure it will come up again. Yeah. It was a short chapter, and most things I said during it. But I liked it a lot. I liked Moraine's introduction. That was a nice introduction. It was a far better introduction than in the show. The show, she just walked into the... No, she was just on this hill and looked at Leandrin. It was okay. And then she walked into the inn and everyone just turned around. Oh, yes. This is so much better. And it's a slow burn, you know, it's like you get told there are 2 strangers, then you get told that there is these 2 strangers like from a fairy tale, and then you meet her. So good. You know, in the show it's like, yeah, she walks into an inn and everyone looks at her. I don't know. They could have taken their time. Yeah, I don't know. So, I will take a sip of water and then I will continue with chapter 3. Okay, let's go. Called the Peddler. Ah, the man in the wagon was PADAN FAIN. That's the guy I was. So if I do this face, that's PADAN FAIN. Just so you know, because in the show he's like that. I love the actor in the show that portrays PADAN FAIN. It's great. A pale, skinny fellow. Well, they changed that, but I don't mind. With gangly arms and a massive beak of a nose. So like Snape. Yeah, always smiling and laughing as if he knew a joke that no one else knew. Had driven his wagon and team into Emmonsfield every spring for as long as Rand could remember. Yeah, so he's the peddler of your choice, even though he's incredibly evil. But yeah, we know that from the show. I hope I didn't spoil that for people that read the book and Yeah, I've not seen the show. Oh, interesting. So he's just, he parks in front of the inn and everyone comes, wants to buy stuff, and the council comes and they let them pass and they go to the front and that's respectful. I like that. Also they want news from him. I don't think you would want news from, but yeah, this is interesting. So there are other peddlers, and the other peddlers, they just, they don't know how to tell a story, and they probably say, yeah, I was at 15 inns this year. And one time, one of the bottles of my wine just crashed, and I was sad. And the people there, they helped me collect it. And yeah. And there was once an inn where they had really, really rubbish food. So don't go there. It's like, and then PADAN FAIN is, world's great place. And there I was, traveling the road. It's just, I can really imagine that. I like PADAN FAIN. I really do. I hope he's more in the show in the future. He's so scary and creepy, but I love him. And he's this is nice. The cure to rendered Fane might not be the best place to find a real Gleeman in Evensphere. I mean, to be fair, they say that the Gleeman is rare. So I think there were 3 Gleemen in their life that came to the village, but PADAN FAIN comes every year. So if PADAN FAIN does this, because it's like a market niche, so to speak, so it's like he knows if he does this, he's special. They like Gleeman, so if he's like a Gleeman, they like him more, they buy more stuff. That's his thing. I like that. That's quite clever. So PADAN FAIN is a clever guy. And he treats everyone the same. Also lovely. And yeah, and he's a showman. Here he's like, oh yeah, I have to put my saddle in order first. Until you all are here and I have led you waiting for a long time so I can present my stories. Oh god, I can imagine. So, oh god, they should have done that in the show. Oh god, the actor would have hammed it up so much. It would have been so great. God. Oh, why did they not do that? This is gold. This material is gold. Oh, parents here. Great. Yeah, okay. So he's the blacksmith apprentice here, which makes sense. He doesn't have a wife. I heard that. I know my friend who knew the books and watched the show with me was like, who is this wife? And oh yeah, that was quite grisly. Okay, that's why they introduced her. I like that though. I like the scene and that he accidentally offed her and then he had some problems there, but they never went anywhere with it. That was a bit sad. I hope they go somewhere because currently Perrin is the most underdeveloped of the 5 characters in the show by far. The last thing he did was, this wolf shout when they and the wolf attack on the White Cloaks. And then for 3 episodes or so he did nothing. I don't know. Yeah, he was a bit mad in this part where they were poisoned by the corridors they went through in this interdimensional way, the ways. But other than that, he was not really remarkable. Oh, I like this. He picked his path carefully, offering apologies to people. He could have easily pushed through the thorn. These 2 statements. So it's a gentle giant. So his arc might be here because he doesn't have this wife, apparently. Arc might be that he has to find his beastly side is the side he what do you say, suppresses normally. He's gentle, but there's the side inside him and it will burst out because he's suppressing it here. I like that. I don't know if it's gonna be that way, but I like that idea. And now everyone heard Ren say, "Later, I said." Yeah, well, this is uncommon. I think it's one of the 2 biggest fears of people. One of the biggest fears of people is being shamed in public. This is interesting as well. So the year before, PADAN FAIN had acknowledged them as men, so as possible trading partners. even, I think. And now Rand hopes he's not been relegated to a child again, whatever he's thinking that. But yeah, it's like a strange situation. So PADAN FAIN has quite an influence on those young men as well. So his judgment is because he's also experienced in a way, but because he traveled so much. At least that's what we know now. That he has this influence on the village as well as this outsider that brings in like the society from outside of the village and their judgment in him, you know, metaphorically speaking, and they want to be acknowledged by him because then they know, yeah, outside this village we will probably be men as well, and it's probably quite important for these young dudes. No, not later. Yeah. I'll be telling you now. Oh. Okay, so he's telling about the four corners of the world that I think I know all of them. So what do we have here? Great Blight is in the south. That's the little Cancer thorn waste. The Sea of Storms, so that's in the north. So it's probably like the sea where there's thunder and freak waves and it's bad and you shouldn't go there. Then the Aerith Ocean in the west, and I think that's where the ship come from. Spoilers for the show in the finale. And the Aiel Waste, which is in the east, which is where and spoilers again, where Rand is coming from. You know, his mother came from, because they've got the red hair. The winter was harsher than you've ever seen before. God, I love that. So stupid. I imagine him like William Shatner. Oh God, I'm having too much fun here. What could be worse than wolves killing sheep? Like that's the worst thing they can imagine in the village. It's what the Sen says here. It says, what? I mean, that's so bad. Wolves killing sheep, but the sheep are gone. What's worse? And then PADAN FAIN is, it's like, I have waited for your question, friend. And he says, man killing man. Yeah, I'm gonna stop doing PADAN FAIN now because, yeah, it's probably stupid, so, okay. Yeah, and then everyone was shocked because they don't know that. Yeah, that I found it very remarkable, and my friends as well, that they don't know killing. You know, from stories they do know it, but killing manslaughter, no, they don't know that. I mean, from experience. Armies march to Galedan. Is that something I should know? I don't know. We will find out. Yeah, no one in the Two Rivers had even had anything to do with war, and as well, like the hobbits. They're like the hobbits here. It's so, and it's more like a positive similarity. You know, I don't mind it. It's they're different because they're normal people, and they are a bit more real than the hobbits were because the hobbits were fantasy creatures. But this little place here, the Two Rivers, it's a lot like Hobbington or the Shire a bit. You know, this it's like the parallel. I know I see the parallels. Yeah. Payne grinned, and Rand had the feeling he was mocking the villagers' isolations from the world and their ignorance. Yeah, yeah. Here it is. That's what my one friend told me as well. That the dragon in the books is not like something so unknown. It's like this very, very bad thing, this very, very bad associations everyone has with the dragon because it led to the breaking. And in the show, he said it was so unusual that they said, yeah, one of you five is the dragon. And they said, okay, well, we have to find out who it is and not, oh God, what is gonna end us all? What's gonna happen? You know, it's like, and I understand this. I get that here because the crowd is like, oh, what? The dragon's standard has been risen? The Dark Ones lose in Galedan, yeah. So they associate him with the Dark One, like his ally, even though he opposed him. Oh, they confused him. My bad. I should have read further. Not the Dark One. The dragon's not the Dark One. And this is a false dragon anyway. Okay. Yeah, they're going haywire. just as bad as the Dark One. The dragon broke the world, didn't he? He started it, he caused the time of madness. You know the prophecies, when the dragon is reborn, the worst nightmares all would seem like your fondest dreams. Wow. That is some good writing. You really get what the dragon is here for them. It's like the worst thing that can happen besides the Dark One emerging next to them and smiting them with darkness, you know, it's... Okay, there was another false dragon, and he laid siege to Ilian. Where is that? I will look it up. Oh, it's near the Tear. So is it near the Blight? Yeah, it's near the Tear. And it immediately say, and they say it's evil times. Yeah. One bad luck. Yeah, it's so bad. You are taken by the dragon, Senbui, trying to bring us all harm. Well, that's so harsh. Wow. That shows so badly what the dragon is. Yeah, now he's blaming the winter and everything for the he's saying it's because the dragon came back. The winter's bad, worse, crops were bad, you know. Yeah. And he says to Fane, "Tell me, is he a false dragon?" And she says, "Oh, I don't know. Why should I know? Why should I know that? I don't know." Oh God. Lightning comes when he calls and strikes where he points and other stuff. He can channel, yeah, he can channel. So yeah, it's probably Loghain. Is he called Loghain? Yeah. Yep. He can channel. So that's bad. Matt still looked excited, yeah. He's for chaos, that little guy. Oh yeah, and they don't seem to like the Aes Sedai as well. You know what kind of woman he's talking about. Yeah. Yeah, so the Aes Sedai are not that well looked upon by the village as well. Oh, I like Tam here. That's powerful. I never saw or heard or smelled anything that couldn't be talked about. Like, that's so important. Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah. You can talk about everything. You can be... People can tell you, yeah, F you, that's stupid, it's dangerous, whatever, but you should be able to talk. You should be able to talk, even if you're a fool. Because, I mean, if it's something that's really damaging and you're a fool and you talk about it and you say it, then everyone can hear it and they know you're a fool. So I don't see a problem with that. That's so powerful. Tam is so right here. Go Tam. Yeah, and the Aes Sedai are sent to... Yeah, so it's probably Leandrin. Okay, now Bran says, yeah, you know, this has gone too far. We have to talk about it in the village council. Because obviously this means war. And war is always bad for everyone in a country, or you know, it ripples out as well. So they have to prepare for whatever influence that will have on their little village, even though it's secluded. That's so true. War seeps into every little nook and cranny of the country if it happens. So yeah, they are concerned for the war, even though they are like the most secluded village at the end of the world. Still, they care for this news because war is bad, and it gets everywhere. You know, you can't take him off. My wife sent me to buy pins. Someone says because they want to take Fen away. Priorities made. Yeah, and the mayor is saying no. We have to ask him now because he probably knows this is more important, and then you can buy it after that. Not like he's robbing them of their opportunity to buy peddler stuff. I like this. This is all of this is culminated in this one sentence from Rand. And it's like this fairy tale aspect as well that I've been talking about today in these two chapters and the last one as well. Like, they're introducing these fairy tales and then slowly they start to sip into this village. Like Moiraine comes first, and the people from the fairy tales appear in the village, so to speak, and then the news comes in of these things from fairy tales happening again outside the village and stuff, and then Rand says this, Still, it must be different out there, beyond the two rivers, like living in the middle of a gleeman's tale. Exactly. An adventure, one long adventure, a whole lifetime of it. It's like he wants to go out. Again, we saw it a bit when he said he went further than most people in the village already did, but here again, it's like this will lead to him leaving. I don't care why, he will leave. This is the sense that tells you, the part tells you he will leave. Fairy tales, like he does not have a horse to leave yet, really, but it starts to get there because he realizes the fairy tales he dreams of are real outside the village, not inside. They come a bit into the village, but he has to go outside to see them and he wants them. Great writing. Okay, and here as well, now there are conflicting parts of info. One thing I'm a bit like, what? The Aes Sedai caused the breaking. The dragon may have started, but it was the Aes Sedai who actually broke the world. So were the male Aes Sedai called Aes Sedai as well? I'm not so sure. Don't tell me, I will find it out. And then the next thing Matt says slowly, because Matt's not like going down only the road of Dragon Bad, he says, from a wool buyer's guard, I heard a story once. He said the dragon would be reborn in mankind's greatest hour of need and save us all. So here it is again. It's not only this, like, the dragon is this bad thing they know, but it's not everywhere, and there are hints that they are more looking at it from different perspectives as well. There are other people who say different stuff. And then Perrin says, yeah, don't listen to that, but yeah. I suppose he claimed we'd live in a new age of legend afterwards as well. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that is interesting as well. So Nynaeve heard it as well, and they were all angry because apparently there are several people that believe that the dragon will save them, but they don't want to upset the Aes Sedai or the Children of Light, our good friend that is, burning wishes. Witch burning, yeah. And then Nynaeve said, yeah, F off. Interesting. Yeah, and then he says, yeah, it's gonna be like another breaking though still, but it's gonna save them in the end. Yeah, and Matt is just telling it, and it's like, he means it here, and they don't believe him because it's Matt. The way he was portrayed, that's so good. He has these very adult qualities that are, that are sparkling a bit now and then. And next to that, he's this mischievous little douchebag. But he is very grown up, and several, you get that he is thinking critically about things a lot, because he's the only one from everyone here that I've now seen that is not like running down this road of absolute hate for the dragon. He's trying to see it a different way. I like that. That's a very nice detail. Yeah, and one said Aes Sedai don't exist in Dark Friends. It's like this the fairy tale coming into their village. Old Billy named the Dark One, yeah, because they don't know where this info comes from. Yeah, now Matt's fooling around. Or does it mean something different to name the Dark One? Perhaps I don't get this. Oh, Nynaeve's here. Ah, good. Nynaeve's here. Yeah, and she as well. She's young and pretty. So there are parallels between her description here and Moraine's, which I like. It's like a little hint that she might be one Aes Sedai as well. I mean, we don't even know yet that Moiraine is an Aes Sedai, but yeah. What does that mean, name the Dark One? I don't get this. It seems like... What? What are they talking about? And Matt doesn't want to be seen as a little child by Nynaeve here, I think. And he's trying to act more adult around her. This is already, that is good. I wonder where that goes. And there's stick and she's hitting people with it. What? They could have done that in the show as well. I wouldn't have minded that. Ah, Gwen is here as well. So now all the 5 people are together. Yeah. And again, a focus on the eyes, on Gwen's eyes. Her eyes held no laughter now. And Gwen is 2 years younger than Rand. Okay. Okay. Why is she telling them not to talk about that? That's a bit strange. I mean, it's against what Tem said. Yeah, and she's a bit full of herself here. So she says, oh, the men, they won't find out anything. We women, we will do that. Which might be true. They are probably using different approaches. Yeah. And she wants to dance with him. So they have a little thing there. Okay, I see. But not that expressed as in the show. Ooh, she got the braid. But didn't it say that she was 2 years younger than them, Egwene? And now here it says she reached marriable age the same way as time as Rand did, which she did not realize, whatever. But so are boys later in the marriable age? Or perhaps I misunderstood the age thing. Oh yeah, wow, and this is straightforward. Like Rand says, yeah, perhaps you should not immediately marry. And then she says, yeah, but perhaps I'm gonna be wisdom. So it's not like there's a great conflict here. He knows. She probably still likes her, but it's like it's from the get-go because they don't have this deep relationship from the show. It's like from the get-go, he knows that this is up. This thing with it's there will probably be a problem. So he already knows. It's not like suddenly, oh God, yeah, you know what? We have this thing, but I'm gonna be wisdom now. It's not that sudden. I mean, I didn't mind it in the show. I really thought it was greatly written in the show as well, the way they did. But here it's it's more consistent. Yeah, and they are not that. It's not that clear their relationship. So she says, "Yeah, you haven't really paid attention to me the last whatever months, weeks, whatever." And she says he's not. He's ignoring her. So he's unsure about his feelings, but he's probably in love with her deep down, but he doesn't really let it get to him, like that. And he's concerned with other things lately, so it's interesting. Yeah, and here as well, Gwen, she wants to see other places, like Rand, even though they probably haven't talked about that. And he doesn't admit it to her. He says, "Yeah, I know these are just daydreams; they're not real. I daydream here." But the part where I read Rand's perspective, the where I said this was the sense that will make him go, I got that he wants to go as well. He rubbed his head in frustration. How to explain this? This was not the first time she had squeezed meanings from these words that he never knew were in them. Women, I have to think about this Family Guy episode. Women, we don't know what we did. Oh, and Moiraine gave Perrin a coin as well, because she probably wants to somehow scout them, whether they are the dragon. And he saw the right eye, yeah. So very consistent there with the three. So they are being scouted by Moiraine and the Dark One. Oh, and the blacksmith took his biggest hammer and carried it around in case it was a wow. That's great storytelling, yeah. Yeah, and he's not. He said it's probably just a feeling the blacksmith got. He says it's the wolves, but no, he's got the feeling that it's more darkness. So Gwen has not seen him, I think, or she's hiding it. Oh yeah, and now a shaggy man is coming into the inn. It's Gleam. It's probably Tom, and here we leave it off. So that was great. What a great read. Okay, so we got to know Nynaeve. She was strange a bit, it was like I can't place her yet. I don't know how she is in the books because it's from Rand's perspective, but she was so strange. Like she's told them not to talk about something that was so strange, and Gwen was with her. The Gleeman came, the dragon was mentioned, the tales mentioned, and it was like the chapter that introduced us a lot more to the mythology of the world, so to speak, that they have. So their myths, their legends, and the way the people reacted to them. And as well, it introduced us to Egwene And Gwen was, I don't know, she started to be marriable, so she got the braid, which was not a big deal apparently, not like in the show. Um, and she will dance around the pole like some. Yeah, I know that from some place. Is it Norway also where they do that as well? Like this midsummer festivals or yeah. And Gwen seemed to not take. I don't know why she acted that way. Is it why Rand? Why is it because Rand ignored her for so long that she's angry at him for everything now? Because it's like if you like someone and they don't like, they seem to like you back for a time and then they just disappear and don't care for you. You are. I think you are getting mad or unsure and don't know what to do, and it's very strange to talk to them probably. Um, so yeah, those two are, and it's like the relationship is more organic. It's like they know they like each other. I get that they like each other from this, but I'm not sure how much everyone likes the other. And here it is completely different, if I understood it correctly. In the show, it was like, yeah, I'm gonna go be a wisdom, go by. I want that more than I want you. And here it is like more, I want to see the world, and this is a way I can. And for me, it felt more teasing. It felt like she was teasing him with that she might be a wisdom, which she might want to be because she's with Nynaeve. She teaches her, and yeah, I could go to that village, but it was not the reason below it. The reason below was that she wants to go away and see the world, and Rand wants that too, even though he seems to not really admitted to himself yet. But from the lines in between, especially when describing the Pebbler and stuff, I got the feeling that he also wants to go and see the world. We got Perrin as well. Perrin is like this gentle giant that probably has to learn to let the beast out. You know what I mean? Um, he's a blacksmith. People seem to listen to him at least more than to Matt and Rand. Although I think Tam listened to Rand as well. And the blacksmith, the way I like that detail that he carried the hammer, bigger hammer, that night or that day or whatever. And he said, "Yeah, it's wolves." No, yeah, he knows something's up. I'm a bit confused as to why Gwen didn't see the thing, the rider thing. Um, she might have, and she might have not admitted it because she didn't want to sound strange, and because she scolded them for their talking about fairy tales, and because Nynaeve was there scolding them, so she perhaps didn't want to upset Nynaeve in a way because she's her teacher currently, seems to be that way, at least a bit. And so that might be why she didn't tell them, but she acted like she didn't know and hadn't seen it. So I wonder. I think she and Nynaeve should both have seen it. That would be perhaps more consistent. I don't know. And Moiraine as well. She gave the coin to Perrin, to Perrin and Matt and Rand and Erwin. But I don't know about Erwin. I don't know. Never seen Erwin in the show. It's probably not important. But yeah, that's it for this chapter. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this a bit. And perhaps you've been reading along, and perhaps you see differently. Please let me know. Yeah, next will be my thoughts that I will take and note down when I talk to my friends about these two chapters. They were great. I like this. It's such a detailed and intricate world building and natural, organic. Characters make sense. They are very deeply layered. There are many times it's show don't tell, something which I want to do more in my stories as well. I try my best. I think I don't manage it all the time, but it's like show don't tell. Because in horror, if I write horror, show don't tell is so important. You can't just say there was a scary monster. Why is it scary? What's happening? It's I really like Robert Jordan for that. He's doing a great job at showing and not telling. And now the Gleeman is coming. It's Tom. I was a bit spoiled that by my friend, but yeah, I could have guessed that. So, anyways, what did you think of the chapter? Comment down below. Whom do you like most here? And yeah, would you like to have these things that I said in the show as well, like Moiraine differently, like younger and smaller in height, and more like this great cloak and her jewelry and stuff like that? Would you have liked that? Because I would have liked that more because it would have contrasted to the village. And yeah, I don't know. Lan sounds perfect and perfectly cast in the show. And yeah, what did you think about? Yeah, whom do you like most currently in the story? I like Rand and Matt a lot. Some people told me they don't like Matt, but I love Matt in the books. He's such a rich character already. Because if you don't really pay attention too much, I think, but I might be wrong here, but to me it was like if I didn't pay that much attention, I do now, because reading this here on this format, I pay a lot more attention than normally when I'm reading stuff. So this is already great that I'm doing this, because I learn a lot more from the books than I would normally learn from books. So, but yeah, if I hadn't paid attention that much to Matt, it would have been like this little childish guy, but there are several little things where he's very adult. I like that. It's like he has this face of the fool that he wears. I like Matt a lot here. Hope he's back in the show soon and the recast works good. Well, I mean. So anyway, if you like this, consider liking, subscribing to the channel, and ring the bell for more content like this. And yeah, I will do the Dune reading soon as well. I will continue that. I started Children. And Elden Ring will come out next month. I will play that. I hope I will do Expanse soon, but currently I have a lot to do because I'm helping my wife with her teaching lessons a bit. And yeah, I think February will be a bit calmer for me, so I will be able to put out content again. So anyway, I hope that you have a great day, and let's give it over to my future self who talk to my friends. Let's go. So here we are again. I just talked to my friends, and we had quite a long talk about several things. So shoutouts to you too. It was a great pleasure doing it, and I hope you can sleep well now, because it's quite late here in Germany. And yeah, so what did we have? We had several points of discussion, and the first one was, it was just a small thing when Moiraine is introduced. You know, everything that is introduced is like described by 2 or 3 sentences, not that much. But when Moiraine is introduced, it takes about half a page. And what we thought was, it was quite interesting that, you know, if you are used to things, you don't see them as very complex, and you describe them in not the most complex way. So like if you see a cat, you say, yeah, that's a cat and belongs to the innkeeper, like Scratch. Great cat. We love you, Scratch. But yeah, so if there's something new, there are 1,000 things you notice, you know, and that's with Moiraine, you know, because she's so new and so unusual, and they've never seen something like her before. The description also fits from the perspective of Rand, you know, because we see it through his eyes currently, and I know it's gonna change. But yeah, it's like, because it's new to him as well, so that's why he sees it so well, and he describes it in such detail. It's actually quite logical that he would do that. Yeah, then we talked a lot about Moiraine book versus show, and yeah, we came to the conclusion, I think, and I hope I don't misrepresent it, that those two are two different media, and because they had to cut the episode count down, they had to introduce her differently. You know, they couldn't just do this like the slow introduction, because it had to get going, you know, because they didn't have the time, unfortunately. But I understand it logistically. So yeah, I still would have wished that she would have worn like something like, and yeah, the other two said, yeah, I mean, if she would dress like she's described, it would be a bit oldish, you know, like from the 70s or so, like very, yeah, I don't know, too exaggerated and not believable for the show. But yeah, they could have at least let her wear the things she wears in the White Tower. I don't know. That was just my thing, but I understand why they did it, though. I still prefer the book introduction a lot to the show introduction, personally. The other two, I'm not sure. I think they were okay with both, you know. So yeah, an interesting aspect that was pointed out, and I I read it, but I think I skipped over it a bit. So the warders were described in the stories as these knights with golden armor and diamonds, and we know that Len is a warder and he's not wearing an armor with golden armor with diamonds. So it shows that the stories they tell us are probably exaggerated, not true, but have a core to them that might be true. You know, like the things with the Dark One and the dragon, we can't trust them really. And I really like that. And this water thing really made it a bit more prominent. That's the case, to me at least, and to them as well. So they pointed it out to me again. And this was one of the signs that we don't have reliable narrators. Great thing. I like that. Yeah, and I was an idiot. So naming the Dark One apparently means calling out his name like Voldemort, you know, or Voldemort, as he is officially called, I think. You know, it's like it's like if you say his name, bad things will happen. It's like bad luck, something like that. I didn't get that, so it makes a bit more sense why they are cursing at Matt for naming him. And it was not that Sen invented him in this saying that they have. Like they told the story that Sen named him. I understood it as he made him up, but no, it was like he named him and something happened to him or whatever. So you know that was it. I misunderstood that. I misunderstood that because I'm an idiot. Okay, so yeah, the most things I talked about, but at the end, Nynaeve and Egwene, they seem distant and strange a bit, and they seem that to all of us at this point, even though we know, I mean, I know them from the show, and they're different than that, but it is because Rand's perspective here again is given, because he doesn't know Nynaeve very well, so she's like this strange woman who has outbursts, and you know, it's like he doesn't know a lot about her, and Egwene as well, because he just doesn't understand her, he just doesn't get her, and yeah, we don't really know yet if she really wants to go be a wisdom, if she really looks up to Nynaeve and wants to do it because of that, or perhaps she just said it out of spite because she's mad at Rand that he's ignoring her. You know, we don't know that because we can't look inside her. You know, her perspective is a mystery to us. And that's something I said then is like there's this test you can do when you write dialogue. I don't know if you know about it. I think it's from Saul Stein. At least he wrote it in his book about writing. I think it's called About Writing, and he gives advice to authors. I read that once because I wanted to be an author, and I still try a bit. But yeah, so, and he said that something that really stayed with me, and it is also applicable to everyday life. It's not just for stories, but there is this play you can do. And like he did it with his students, and he took a woman, I think, and a man, and the man, and he gave role cards to both of them. So in the cards there was written what they were supposed to act out in the coming scene that they were playing together. So, and he gave the woman the instructions. You are a mother of a boy. The boy is very good in school. He's a perfect, almost perfect, like perfectly behaved little man, and he's quite kind. And his teacher is treating him unfairly. And the teacher person, so the man got the role card. You're a teacher, and there's this boy in your class, and he's annoying you. He's not doing his homework. He's stupid, and he can't do anything. And he's just, you know, the worst student you ever had, so to speak. You know. And then they obviously didn't know about the other role, so he said, so Solstan sent them on the stage, and they had to improvise the scene. And he said it was hilarious to watch, but what he wanted to tell and teach them, and I think it's a great lesson to learn, is everyone has their own script. I do have my own script, and like when I talk with my friends, they have their own scripts as well, and we try to figure out what their scripts are, and how they fit together, and if we can improve all our scripts, so to speak. But this as well, it's Rand's script. We see it through Rand. Egwene's script might have been completely different. Who knows what she thought? We don't know yet. I hope we get to know. So it's a very interesting way of writing this, and I like that so much about this book, that it's unreliable, but because it's from a perspective and you understand the perspective, you have to be careful about what might come in the future, because it might be unreliable, but you at least get through which lens it is seen, because that's the way it's presented. Great thing. The last thing we discussed was, so Fen is taken inside the inn, And I thought, and I think it's still, and we agreed that it might be one of the reasons that, yeah, war is threatening them as well, because it is right next to them. Because we looked at the map, and my friend who read the books already pointed out that it's quite close, the war. So it's like one country away, so to speak. And so it's of relevance to them, but still they're the last village on the back of the world, whatever. And yeah, so he said, they said perhaps they just wanted to, the elders just wanted, the council, they just wanted to diffuse the situation, like take him out because people were getting agitated. Take him out. It's okay. They will not get more out of him. But then we also realized that the women said we have to question him because they can't do it. So at least the women were worried about the war, I think, because they wanted the questioning done right, which applies to me and I think to my friends as well, that that they are worried. Why? I don't know. I don't know enough about the culture there. Maybe because the men will not come back. I don't know. I mean, historically, this was often that, men went to war, women were left behind, men died, women were left alone. Horrible stuff. I think, yeah, like it was with my grandfather. My great grandfather died in the Second World War, and my grandfather, my great grandfather went away on the ship because he was in the Marine, in the German Marine, and he just went away and never came back. So my grandfather grew up without a father. And yeah, perhaps that's what the women were like, afraid of. Yeah. Anyway, so these were our short points. Next time we decided to read chapter 4 and 5 because there's supposedly a cliffhanger, and that's not a spoiler. So if you're reading along, I hope you're having fun as well. And yeah, it will be next Sunday. I hope about this time then it comes out. We will discuss it, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward a lot. Currently, Moiraine is my favorite character. I don't know, because she's so interestingly written. The way she's perceived alone, and I want to know more about her. I want to know more about the Aes Sedai because I don't know what is Moiraine and what are the Aes Sedai. You know what is that? And yeah, it was clear that the Aes Sedai were the males as well. So it's another little glimpse at their unreliability. So the male Aes Sedai did bad. So, and they know through history it was like, yeah, all of them are bad. I don't know. It's a nice little detail as well. So anyway, if you like this, consider liking, subscribing, and perhaps ring the bell to get more updates. And yeah, if you don't want to, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. If you enjoyed this video, it's fine. It's enough for me. I hope you did. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next week, and I hope you have a great week. And I will probably put out a science video again this week, and I hope perhaps I will do it this evening, ranking the Bleach characters, my favorite ones. I want to do that. I know you probably are not interested in Bleach, but if you are, check that out. It should come out, I hope, tomorrow or the day after. And yeah, take care of yourself. And yeah, be like 10. Be like, see you.